partially digital instrument cluster. Control that with these buttons here. Here's a look for you at the central infotainment system. We've got the factory set up here. Wireless charging pad down here for our smartphone. Big simple 2-dial climate control system here. That'll be easy for you to use with your gloves on. 2 proper cup holders. An additional cubby here, another one there. Both styles of USB power ports here. You can see the door handles don't give us a storage space, but we do have some additional cubbies down there on the bottom of the door. And on top of that, a wide, deep center console storage bin right here. We've got this rugged look here with the exposed fasteners, and another little storage cubby up here on the top behind the nav screen. Still, maybe the handiest touch in here is actually right down there on the center console, where we have this handy slot for keeping our credit card, parking card, points card, and the like.
This is the 2023 Ford Maverick Lariat Hybrid. It comes with a 2.5-liter, 191 horsepower 4-cylinder hybrid engine, which is the standard equipment engine for most Maverick models. Starting price for the Maverick with standard hybrid power is $31,100 Canadian in the XL trim grade, and my tester is a top-of-the-line Lariat with options pushing the price to about $47,000. This hybrid-powered tester can tow up to 2,000 pounds.
So is the Maverick Hybrid the right truck for you? Well, road test's coming up for you in a moment. I'll be popping in to get you up close with some of my most and least favorite details in here, and we'll be answering some of the internet's most popular search questions about this truck along the way.
The big draw is pickup truck functionality with the size, maneuverability, and gas bill of a small car. Fuel economy is rated at 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers of combined driving, and because of its hybrid tech, it uses the least amount of fuel in the sort of stop-and-go driving that makes non-hybrid engines use the most. If the city fuel consumption of pickup trucks in general scares you out of buying one, then the Maverick Hybrid is built to be what you're after. By the way, Ford will sell you a Maverick like this one as well, with 4-wheel drive, up to 4,000 pounds of towing, and an EcoBoost Turbo 4 with 250 horsepower that's fun to drive and excellent in the snow. But with the hybrid engine, the Maverick drinks less gas than a Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, or Volkswagen Jetta. Back here it's a 4.5-foot bed and you get 1,500 pounds of maximum payload.
That's several dozen bags of soil from the garden center.
And the hybrid can tow 2,000 pounds, double that of another hybrid-powered utility model that I also think you should be checking out. What is it? Well, more on that at the end of the video. So which Maverick has 4x4? If you're going with the Maverick Hybrid, it comes only with front-wheel drive. There's no hybrid 4-wheel drive option currently available. 4-wheel drive is available or standard on non-hybrid models, depending on the trim grade you select.
So ergonomically speaking, a couple of complaints in here. That power sliding rear window is a handy touch, but the switch to operate it is way down here, right next to the engine start button, which is also way down here instead of up here next to the steering wheel where it should be. The other thing to draw your attention to is back here with the rear seats, which are roomy enough for 2 adults and also have room for your stuff under these organizer bins beneath, but the rear seats flip up or down as a single piece. It's people or cargo back here and not both. So if you flip the seats up, you've got room for storage but no people, vice versa if you flip them down, where there's room for humans. But in that case, you'll have to store your bags and your luggage and your shopping out in the bed. Let me give you a little more detail.
You get a built-in household power outlet and some added durability thanks to my tester's spray and bed liner. There's plenty of room to customize and modify the bed to your tastes with accessories if you like. Cargo lift-in is under 30 inches, the bed sides are shallow, which makes it easy to load and unload over the sides. And you've got a bottle opener and hookups for 12-volt power, tie-downs, and pockets to get you started before adding whichever accessories you like. How does the Ford Maverick Hybrid work? The 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid engine is a gas engine with a built-in electric motor generator unit attached. That unit can send electric power to the wheels through the driveline, boosting total power output of the engine but also reducing its workload significantly. There's no plugging the Maverick Hybrid in, just gas it up and drive. As you do, the electric motor generator automatically recharges the battery as you drive around. Partly that's thanks to regenerative braking, where the spinning action of the wheels drive the electric generator and make electricity whenever you coast or brake, or otherwise have wheels that are spinning but not being powered. So whenever you slow down, you're recharging the battery. Apply the throttle and it switches back to motoring up the gas engine. The electric motor boosting output or even doing all of the work of driving the Maverick entirely in certain situations. So that's a gas engine that creates and uses its own electricity to save itself work, or even generates many moments of gasoline-free electric driving that add up to stretch the range of every tank of fuel. And remember, this hybrid tech also means the Maverick is even easier on fuel in the city than it is on the highway. So no complaints about the mileage, but the highway drive isn't my favorite for the money, much beyond the highway speed limit, and you'll be hearing from the wind and tires. By about 105, certain surfaces saw me needing to raise my voice for a conversation. As machines at the better part of $50,000 go, you've got much quieter riding choices for the money. Still, it's an easy driving machine, no more difficult to maneuver or keep on course than a small car, and the adaptive cruise and lane keeping systems are among the best and smoothest you'll find at this price point. The ride is more small and sporty crossover than pickup truck, a more engaging highway feel than you'll find in bigger 4x4s. I just wish it was a little quieter. The roads in Sudbury, Ontario are a suspension system torture test, and a good testing exercise for me to help sort out the ride quality and comfort on these worst-case scenario roads where some machines do well and most don't. Some hits and misses here. The ride feels solid and durable, not truck-like, but more like some of the better riding crossovers I test here. Subaru Crosstrek and Nissan Rogue come to mind as recent favorites. Still, though the ride is mostly well managed, some drivers will wish for a bit more give in the suspension. There's plenty of clearance for travel over Sudbury's back roads, but the worst of these can see the ride get a little noisier and more crumbly than I like for the dollar. No complaints from the engine though. It's a smooth and quiet performer that's well-mannered, pleasingly responsive at low engine speeds, and it switches and blends hybrid and gasoline power even more smoothly than I found in the other Ford hybrid pickup, this $106,000 F-150 PowerBoost Limited from a previous test drive. I've noted the Maverick's hybrid 4-cylinder engine family to be a hard hitter when it comes to refinement and smoothness in other applications, and that's still the case here. Call up that hybrid driving assist graphic in the instrument cluster and you'll see what the system is up to in real time, and before long, you'll be reading that display and working the pedals to help maximize the value that you're getting from this hybrid system, which saves you money on gas and makes the hybrid driving experience in this machine that much more engaging. What's the best thing about the 2023 Ford Maverick Hybrid? I think you're seeing some of this machine's best work around town and in tight quarters where it doesn't feel like a pickup truck, and for the people writing the checks, that's a good thing. It's no harder to park or U-turn than a Honda Civic, the steering is light and eager, nearly frisky at times, and the electric motor response in light-to-light traffic gives this Maverick Hybrid a healthy punch of power for around-town driving. Though it's happy on the highway where I did most of my driving, the engine can feel a touch short on power for fast passing and merging. And the best fuel consumption, noise levels, and overall experience you'll have from this machine, I figure, is when you're out and about running a day of errands around town. What's the worst thing about the Ford Maverick Hybrid? For where I live and how I drive, the lack of all-wheel drive is sort of a deal breaker. We face severe winter weather for a lot of the year up this way, making my preference in a Maverick a model with turbo power instead of hybrid power, and four-wheel drive instead of two. Highway cruising and sometimes suspension noise levels aside, I also hope they'll add a split-folding rear seat on a future update for some additional storage flexibility.
I'm going to give you an up-close look at the driving environment in here in a moment, but first, just for a second, let me put up some footage of Ford's other hybrid pickup truck, the F-150 PowerBoost.
You're probably not cross-shopping these two machines, but I thought you might find it interesting to see what happens when we scale this hybrid tech up a little. The F-150 PowerBoost is a hybrid like the Maverick. In real-life driving, it'll use just about double the fuel of a Maverick hybrid, but you get twice the number of drive wheels, well over double the horsepower, 3.5 times the torque, and 6 times the towing capacity, again, all from just double the gas. So that's two examples of the sort of hybrid tech that's about to become very big business in the world of utility vehicles moving forward.
All right, so back up front here, partially digital instrument cluster. Power meter there on the left, speedometer there on the right, and this useful computer in the middle. We can control that with these buttons here, so we press OK to clear that message. The menu button here calls up a couple of different settings, screens, and information that we can call up on the fly. A little more detail for you there on the power meter that you saw in the time-lapse videos. So green down to the left of the 0 there, that's charging, regenerative braking. And the power meter from 0 to 100 on the other side more or less represents the current draw that you're asking from the power plant in terms of your throttle position. Here's a look for you at the central infotainment system. We've got the factory set up here. I've been using Android Auto all week, wired in this case without issue. Let me get up close there and show you a little more detail on the graphics. Very logical, easy to use system. If you're ever lost, you just press the home button here, you're back to the main screen, all of your common functions laid out for you there. So not too long at all before you'll be using this system like a pro. Wireless charging pad down here for our smartphone. We do have to center that on the pad in order for that to work. Big simple 2-dial climate control system here. That'll be easy for you to use with your gloves on. The controls in the center are a little small and cluttered, but ultimately no major issues in terms of using this quickly and efficiently. Storage and charging were very nicely backed up here too. Here is a closer look for you. So 2 proper cup holders, an additional cubby here, another one there. Center console storage bin here, we've got this divider in the middle, wireless smartphone recharging pad there if we need it. Both styles of USB power ports here. You can see the door handles don't give us a storage space, but we do have some additional cubbies down there on the bottom of the door. And on top of that, a wide, deep center console storage bin right here. Closer look for you at the textured dashboard and the textured door panels. We've got this rugged look here with the exposed fasteners and another little storage cubby up here on the top behind the nav screen. So all said, no issues keeping your smaller items organized and recharged on the go. Still, maybe the handiest touch in here is actually right down there on the center console, where we have this handy slot for keeping our credit card, parking card, points card, and the like.
So if you've been dreaming of a little truck with a little fuel bill and you can do with just 2 driven wheels, the Maverick Hybrid might just be the answer to your prayers. Still, I want you to consider this, the CR-V Touring Hybrid. It's not a pickup truck and towing is half the Maverick Hybrids at 1,000 pounds from the Honda, but for a few bucks more, you do get all-wheel drive, one of the best hybrid systems I've ever driven, and the exact same combined fuel economy as the Maverick as well. You also get more space to store things out of the elements, and what I would tell you is the more refined ride and better road manners of the two. It's always nice to have choices.
Well, thank you for watching. My name's Justin Pritchard. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe. Let me show you something first, because after all, this sort of price range, about $100,000 for this fully loaded tester, you can expect a really high level of build quality in here, and in a lot of ways, you can actually hear it.